Hey everybody, it's Brad.
And I'm Christa.
Big Family Homestead. Okay, today is day one of school.
Day one.
At home. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to, this is about advice.
Yeah.
This is about advice, but I got to inflate Mom just a little bit so you can understand she's speaking from experience. This is not just somebody who bought a manual and said, okay, let's do school. She's been doing it for 19 years.
This is our 19th year. Yes.
With 7 students.
7 students.
And now the eldest went into intelligence in the military. Mm-hmm. Top 3%. Okay. Mm-hmm. Second one fixes helicopter engines. And, well, he's just a goofy kid. But,
yes, he is.
But passed with, flying colors. Intelligent, loving Claire. She's amazing.
Smart as a whip.
And every one of these kids is doing great. And I figure today would be a great day for you to say, hey, teachers, these are the things that I think help me, you, get through, not give up, and produce humans that are smart.
Where's my chocolate?
Where's my chocolate?
Where's my chocolate and my tea?
Well, that is honestly a real thing.
It is totally a real thing.
Taking a break because they're going to drive you nuts.
Yes, they are going to drive you nuts. And okay.
We'll start there. You're going to have hard days.
Hold on.
Okay.
I would never. I would have never been able to get through this without him or Jesus.
I hope you can reverse that order.
No, because you keep me grounded.
Well, because you have been bad, so you're grounded.
That's not the same kind of grounded, but you have to have the support of your spouse. Mm. Because if you guys are not on the same page, it's not going to fly. Because when you're feeling defeated, they're there to help build you up. And it happens many times a year. So. Can I have a tissue?
We lovingly call it her meltdown moments.
I do have them. I'm not perfect, guys. I have meltdown moments. I'm surprised I haven't had one yet today on day one.
Well, now there are a lot of moms and dads who are having to go this alone.
Yeah. For
one reason or another.
Yeah. And
I would suggest you try to find a support system, whether it's a relative, brother, sister, mom, dad, or a friend.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Find a support group in your area. Find
somebody,
another mom who is doing this, and you guys can build each other up. And yeah,
this probably applies for just all teachers, not just homeschool teachers, because I can imagine. I mean, I've taught class. I actually was a teacher a few different times.
Yeah.
One was a band instructor.
Yes.
That was funny.
That was really funny.
That was funny, yeah. But having to deal with each individual child and trying to mine out of that child the very best that they can be, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And you're doing that one-on-one with these kids. So let's talk about just day one. You've already selected your curriculum.
Yeah.
Now assuming that you're doing something similar, then you will have selected your curriculum. What happens if all of a sudden it's just not clicking for a kid?
You have to find something else. You have to see what's not working and find another way to show them how to do that same curriculum, or you have to find a different curriculum. Honestly, I have changed curriculum so many times during the year with different kids. It's actually, I shouldn't say frustrating, because it's not the child that's frustrating me. It's that
Why isn't it working?
Why is this not working? And then you have to realize, well, maybe it's just that's not the way that child learns. And you
Yes.
have to learn how that child learns. And if you have to take this, I'm not suggesting you do this, not this particular one, because this is brand new. If you have to take this and chuck it out, then you have to do that.
Because it's not working.
Because it's just not working. I really hope that this will work for our daughter. But I don't know that until we get into it.
David learned math very differently than Jonathan.
Oh, and we'll learn every single one of your kids will learn their lessons, learn math, learn science, learn English different than every single one of them, than every other one of them. David and Jonathan were awesome in math. Claire and Hope struggle. It's just, that's just, sorry, honey.
She's doing good.
Yeah, I'm talking about algebra and the harder math. I'm not talking about 2 + 2. Okay, I'm talking about the harder algebras. And David was in calculus, and no way could I have ever helped him with that.
Now, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Now, here's another thing, advice for new teachers. One of the things I think that is really cool and flexible about homeschooling is, yes, you have to figure out what's working per student.
Yeah.
But you can also have the ability to find those things that they excel in and then throw gasoline on that fire.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the beauty. One of the beauty parts of homeschooling is they can follow their passion. If it is rebuilding engines, do it. Let them do it. If it's, reading
Latin,
let them do it. If it's like Hope has a passion for equine, anything, anything, and we just go
Do
for
it.
it. Let's do it. Let's feed that. So,
well, and that is one of the things I think that is a challenge, in that if you go to a regular, structured, traditional public school, they have this box and they got to check off all these boxes in order to get a diploma. Well,
and if you think outside that box,
then it
you're
doesn't
bad.
work.
You're
Well,
bad.
it's not that it's bad, it's that it doesn't fit what they're told that they have to do.
Generally, kids who think outside of that teacher's
Don't
or that
fit.
school box, they don't fit, and they're labeled as a troubled child or a disruption in class. And
Well, and you do see that with kids, especially like with dyslexia.
oh yeah,
But the thing is that with a homeschool kind of curriculum, you can find those things and just zero in on a kid's God-given natural abilities and desire. Like some kids love to read, and then other kids it's like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
Well, you might switch gears, and like with Jonathan, hey, go fix this blah 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 engine, and we're going to talk about the math behind it.
right.
X amount of cubic inches on the blah 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 block, and you can really feed that.
Right.
Now, here's another thing though.
I mean, they still have to learn how to read, but it's
So, big notes so far. Discouragement, you need a support system.
Yep.
You can really fine tune the learning, but you can also weed out things that aren't working.
Yep.
But how about this one that most folks don't think about? Record keeping, because you're going to need transcripts.
Yeah, especially for high school. That's when it really, comes to important documentation. You have to keep track of their grades. You have to keep track of what courses they're learning. Test scores. Because when they want to, or if they want to move on to college or military or whatever, I shouldn't say whatever, because a job, they're not going to ask for transcripts.
Well, if you went to a technical institute,
Right.
you just have to show them that you graduated.
Right. But you have to keep track of that because colleges need to know that. And you have to plan for SATs in their junior year. So that's something that we're going to be doing here soon. Yay!
Well, and we've got 2 of our kids that were in the military, and they had to see that they were viably graduated.
Right, right. And with being homeschooled, you are able to graduate your child.
In Wisconsin,
All states, you are able to graduate your child. If it's traditional homeschooling, you, the parent, are graduating your child. You can have a graduation party, but you print their diploma, you print their transcripts, and that is what gets sent off to colleges.
Legally, it's no different than graduating from a high school.
Exactly. You decide what credits they get, or what credits are required. You have to cover the basis: English, math, science, history, those kind of things. But any electives, home ec, holy smokes, there's lots of things that are included in home ec.
Hold on, Mom. The dogs are having a meltdown.
Yeah. It's probably UPS or something.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But, so home ec, you can, but what I wanted to make sure that you touched on was that now per state, laws are a little different.
Yeah.
And you got to check on that. But, for example, in Wisconsin, a homeschool diploma is no different than a private academy.
Right.
So you can set your own curriculum, you can set your own standards in Wisconsin.
Right.
And then you can issue the diploma based on whether those students met those standards.
Right.
And then to a college or the military, it's no different than saying, I graduated from Northwoods Preparatory Academy.
Right.
And
Exactly.
oh, wow, that looks impressive, doesn't it?
Right.
Wouldn't a college think, boy, that's neat, instead of, oh, I'm just a homeschool mom.
Right. But again, you still have to meet the
Basics.
the basics, social studies, science, history, math, those types of things are supposed to be covered. Civics, government, especially for high school. So those are requirements for graduation. So you have to meet those before that child gets a diploma.
So summing up, Mom, the one thing we were talking about earlier is just don't give up.
Don't give up. This time in your child's life is so important. They are just sponges, and they learn everything. And where they're at, they're learning things you may or may not want them to learn.
Do you really want them indoctrinated somewhere else?
Learning about things that are not really appropriate for a 5-6-year-old.
Politically motivated.
Well, I'm not just talking about politically motivated either.
Morally,
socially, okay, so many folks scream socialization.
Right. Get your kids involved in church. Get them involved.
Get your kids involved in church. But honestly, if your kids are involved with other kids at school that are just
terrors. How's that good socialization?
That's terrible socialization.
Yeah, they're learning, but they're learning wrong.
All of our kids can carry on conversations with adults from the time they're very
10.
young, because that's who they're socializing with. You're not raising children, folks. You're raising adults.
Thank you.
And they need to learn how to be adults, functioning adults in society. Nana, get away from that tripod.
She's right there. Our dog's a Saint Bernard.
She's huge.
She's peeking over.
Yeah. You have to teach your child to be able to care for themselves and others around them.
And their families.
And their families. You cannot do everything for your child when they're young, because when they're old,
they won't do it for themselves.
They won't do it for themselves. Be teaching your child how to clean the bathroom, doing their laundry. And this is not just school. I'm sorry.
You've departed.
I've departed. I've moved on. This is not just school. This is life. You teach your child how to cook food. That's part of home economics for school, right? Teach your child how to do their laundry, to care for their bodies while they're young. because then they can help their children when they move on and move away and get married and have kids, and then they can do it for their children and their wives and husbands, sorry.
Okay, so final thought.
Most
Don't give
important,
up.
don't give up. Don't give up. Every day is going to introduce a new challenge. And just take a deep breath, have another piece of chocolate, and move on and move through it. It's when you have a challenge, talk to your support person, talk to your spouse, talk to your friend. Just say, hey, I'm going through this. Can you give me a hand?
Yeah.
And they are more than willing to help. So
That's it.
that's it.
What she said.
Sorry, my little rant.
I don't think it's no. I think it's important stuff.
It is. And this is stuff that I've clearly been passionate about for 19 years, you know, to continue homeschooling this long. So
Anyway, I think it's great.
yeah.
All right. Hugs and kisses, everybody. See you later. I'm Brad.
I'm Krista.
You guys have an awesome and blessed day.